hopping into game one. Game one is on Battlefield, and this is sort of like a classic start the set game against Puff where you're not playing super hot at avoiding the rest setups. And HBox gets 3 grabs this game, and all 3 grabs convert to a rest kill like perfectly. And that just puts Moky at a pretty big disadvantage because like I think that's the most rest that he gets in any game in this set. But he just gets 3 quick rests, and it's super interesting. Every game, this is the thing to note in this set, every single game ends up 2 stocks to 2 even, regardless of how the first couple stocks go. And so it starts out with Moky, he's just running in, like, it's just so interesting to me to just be, like, throwing stuff out. Like, these are, like, approaching short hop up air against a character that can kill you at 0. But he makes it work in this really cool way. Sometimes, though, he gets a little too aggro with it. HBox does a really good call out here on the short hop drill. This is typically why you don't want to just sort of shield pressure Puff. You want to just be dash dancing around to pressure her. But you'll see as the set goes on, it's interesting. Moky seemingly does a lot of risky things, and he gets caught for them, but he makes up for them. And it just sort of keeps going in this very strange back and forth way. But I think it makes him really interesting to watch against HBox, because it's not Moky has a security system and HBox needs to find a way in. It's like Moky is just gaming and HBox needs to somehow find an orderly setup for a grab or a rest somehow within this sort of chaos that Moky's creating. And he combines that with moments where he plays really good dash dances and stuff. He definitely knows how to play the matchup, but it feels like he's way more down to go for all of these, like, approaching up air here, approaching nair off the platform. All of these would theoretically be something really bad. And that, like, if you were a normal Fox player and you did this, it would feel like the Puff is just waiting to clean up their free kill. But I think Moky he's so quick and he confirms his kills so well that HBox is just, it's like he's not expecting the sort of vulnerable, it's not really it's kind of a dumb option, but it's like Moky just stays unpredictable with it so well that HBox has a tough time, like, really knowing when to bite. But Moky again overextends here. HBox gets the rest kill out of the grab. Once again, 3 rest kills off of 3 grabs. He has a 100% rest kill rate off of the grab this game, which is crazy. And so it's interesting, Moky goes down 2 stocks immediately, but cleans up the rest kill, or the rest punish, and then this next stock, it's just sort of classic, like, Moky does the same drill that just lost him a stock a second ago, where HBox wave dashed back and grabbed this, but he just gets away with it. He gets away with it, and he just sort of keeps moving in. Like, he's not dash dance camping at all. Like, what are these lasers? Like, what is that laser? Like, he's just, he very clearly is like, sometimes what can happen is that, this happens to me, is you have this sort of system against Puff, and you try so hard to play the system right because you know it works. And a lot of times, if you get thrown off the system, Puff will kill you out of that somehow. So you're like, okay, I gotta stick to the system, but it makes you kind of tight and, like, not fluid enough where you can, like, really make decisions on the fly, and so you end up getting predictable and kind of stiff, and HBox is really good at capitalizing on that. And so I think, at the very least, what Moky does completely counteracts that part of HBox's style, where it feels like he's just creating scrambles, like, everywhere. Like, this doesn't feel like a normal HBox fair, and he dies for it, but Moky is just moving around him so much, and just down to throw out moves in so many spots that are unconventional, that HBox just doesn't really seem to know exactly what's coming. And remember, I mentioned this before, every game just goes 2-2. This is basically a set played on 2 stock games with super explosiveness one way or the other. Okay, and, like, see, like, look at this. This is madness. Moky's the only one who would be going for stuff like this. Like, Puff is at 0. she's crouching. Like, Puff is here. She's sitting right here waiting for the approach at 0, and Moky is just down to put these nairs out, gets the grab, goes for the shine, run off, fair, up smash. This is kind of Moky's strength. He finds these crazy openings. Like, this is not an opening, you know, you would typically practice. A lot of times you're thinking, okay, I'm going to nair, and then I'm going to grab, up throw, whatever. Like up throw, up air, thinking about the percents. Moky's not really doing that quite as much. He's just fighting it out. Like, it feels like his vision of the game is very zoomed in. He's not thinking too much about moving around and really setting up positions as much as just reacting well to everything that happens and trying to win those. And it seems like he does a pretty good job of not getting grabbed using it, but it's still just such a crazy style. It just feels insane to watch someone take so many risks against Puff, but make it work. And so this is the one up throw up air this game. Some of the other games, Moky gets a lot of up throw up airs, and this one he only gets one up throw up air, and HBox escapes. And it feels like this could have swung the momentum in Moky's favor. It's interesting, he went down 2 stocks, and now he's actually winning right now. But the one mistake he makes here, HBox actually got a couple of these during the set, like really, really good up airs on the landing. And then he cleans up the edge guard. And then it feels like this stock, Moky mentally is maybe a little, like he's a little, not tilted, but he's just trying to get in there a little too much, and he just gets immediately grabbed and up throw arrested. This is the downside of like the high variance, sort of high risk play style, is sometimes you just like you would think, you know, at this percent what Fox wants to do, Fox wants to run around, laser, get some sort of jab up smash or wall back air or up air shield poke or something, and just sort of take it slow. Moky just runs in and grabs right away, and he gets killed for it. And once again, very interesting how he plays it. He plays it as very much this, like, well, you know, maybe he'll get me anyway, so I might as well just go in now and do something wacky. And the way it turns out the rest of the set is super interesting. So game 2 is Stadium, and Moky this game gets 4. He gets so many early kills. Let's see. He gets, I think he kills off up throw up air 4 times in a row. So his last game he got 0 up throw up air kills. This game it's literally 4. He just kills him off of up throw up air perfectly every stock. And I think HBox gets out of like none of them. Yeah, there's 3 double hit up air kills, and HBox SDI is 0 out of 3. And this game probably could have gone pretty differently because of that. Like if he had hit those. Look at this. This is so interesting though. Like when you look at the beginning of both games, last game too, and this game, the momentum swing is crazy. Where it just feels like, okay, last game HBox was really cooking, and then this game Moky just starts out like boom, gets this nice early kill right there, and he keeps this momentum the whole game, and it still ends up 2 stocks to 2. I was just watching this earlier, like 2 stocks to 2 every time. Like it's all 5 games of the set. It just immediately goes, like some sort of crazy stuff happens. Either somebody gets 2 kills in a row, or the other person gets 2 kills in a row. It always ends up perfectly even, 2 stocks to 2. And then there's just something crazy happens, and every game it feels like if one player or the other had hit just a couple more things, it was just going to be like a landslide in their favor. And I think this is one of those sets that is played basically on like very tiny margins, where any little small thing could have changed the result of this set a lot. Yeah, so Moky gets that first kill. And HBox gets the grab, but he's unable to capitalize. Let me see, I wrote this down. The game 2, HBox grabs him 6 times, but he's only able to get 2 kills. Compare that to game 1, where he gets 3 grabs and 3 kills for it. So I think HBox's kill rate this game off of the grab, which is like his most important opening, is way lower. And then combine that with Moky hitting the up throw up airs, it's a really tough draw on Stadium to win that as Puff. This was interesting. This is the only time during the set where he doesn't get like a legit rest opening or a legit grab opening. I mean, he gets it off of Moky's missed L cancel. I thought that was kind of interesting. Every other setup this set is based off of some sort of read or covering something that Moky does. Some sets it feels like Puff is getting most of her openings off of missed L cancels and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure this is the only one this whole set. So yeah, I also think the rest punishes for Moky might have been able to be a little bit better. It seems like he kind of freeforms it, but maybe that's just his style, because he is kind of going crazy this whole set. And he's willing to do a little bit of dash dancing. I think this is what he's good at, is when HBox plays the ultra defensive game, where it's clear that there's no way that Moky can get in at all, Moky will play the dash dance game. He's not just throwing out dumb stuff and like diving in most of the time in spots where there's absolutely no business to be had. But every time HBox even gives the tiniest whiff that he might want to fight or he might be able to interact, Moky is there, and he is basically like, you might be able to CC, you might be able to slip out of stuff, but I'm just going to play faster and better in every spot. And sometimes, though, it does come back to bite him, like I was saying. It's like, this is another one of those grabs where HBox hits this grab, or sorry, if he hits the kill off the grab, things are really different. So he gets this read on the grab and just misses the kill off of it. And it's like, okay. And there's the single hit up air, and now he's behind. And you would think that one of these games, one of them has to go to 3 stocks to 1. None of them do. Every time it's just like, well, I got ahead, and so now it's your turn. And so it's just a really interesting stock pattern that they have. Yeah, and this is almost like... It seems like Moky might have been able to grab the edge here, but this is overall a pretty strong edge guard from Puff in general. So sometimes that'll happen where like somebody messes up in a situation and it's basically how the situation should have panned out if the other person didn't mess up too. And so you just kind of like, okay, I'm not going to worry too much about that. Like he might have been able to make it back. He did kind of SD, but there's a lot of other worlds where HBox just hits this, and that would be the end anyway. So it's a pretty normal interaction despite the mistake from Moky. But once again, total reset, 2 stocks to 2. Where's it going to go from here? And it's super interesting to play the matches with the windmill, too. I think that Hungrybox doesn't seem like he knows exactly what to do on this stage. Like, he's playing, but, like, I don't think he should be fighting with Fox at all on the windmill here, but he fights it out, and he almost gets the up throw rest, but it messes with him a little bit. And then Moky just cleans it up super, super early again. These, like, oh, I got the kill at 0 with, like, the up air rest. Oh, I got the kill at, like, super low percent with the up throw up air. In this matchup, 1 SDI on Fox up air, 1 situation where you barely don't get up throw rested. It makes all the difference in these types of sets. Great aerial combo. Moky's so good at getting just enough percent on Puff really fast. Like, he's really good at turning these small advantage situations. Like, boom. And this is, again, like, this full hop is theoretically bad. Like, theoretically here, Puff just grabs you. He would get grabbed. But he's just relying on the fact that in every situation, he's a little bit quicker than HBox. And he makes it work. A lot of this stuff is really hard to react to, too. So it's like, he's not just playing the situations where Fox wins the game at a perfect level. He plays it very, like, to the human player that he's playing against. And, you know, I think that's good in some sense. I think it's really easy to feel like you as the Spacey are this sort of, like, you're the human and you make mistakes, and the longer the match goes, like, of course you'll eventually make an error, and the Puff player is this perfect machine that, you know, they're just waiting for their one opening, and then they always hit that opening if you give them a CC or you give them a grab or something like that. But It's not necessarily true, and a lot of times their reflexes are a little bit worse than the Fox players because the Fox player is playing this fast character, fast matchups all day long. And so it's like it's surprisingly effective to play to that imbalance where the Fox player is a little bit quicker than the Puff. But I think that like you really need to be so confident in your execution and the other pieces of your game plan to be able to pull it off. It's just, I think Moky is the only Fox that it feels like when he plays H-Box that he is fighting like a normal character. Everyone else plays this very organized, okay, I'm fighting Puff, we're playing this very different matchup, and Moky just kind of fights Jigglypuff like she's a normal character. And I think the reason why it's kind of interesting to me is that you never really know what that means. Like, is Moky just better and he should win every time? But because these guys go back and forth, this is like a super back and forth. Like, it feels like every other set the other person wins, and I sort of blame that on like Moky's volatile playstyle. Like, he makes a lot of volatile choices, and there's a lot of spots where he can just get rested, but he gets away with it and then ends up winning the game or something like that. And it just feels like it's hard to know whether, like, if Moky tried to play more organized, would he win more often? Or is he just strictly able to play and win this way, and that's it? And if he tried to be more orderly, he would do worse. It's tough to tell, but the result is that these sets are basically coin flips. It just feels like, can H-Box get the perfect read on Moky's approach, or will Moky eventually just kind of tap him a bunch and win the scramble? Like, there's a theoretical world where like a Fox who does this ever, like these shine drills, should just never really beat the best Puff, because the Puff should be able to get this and then set up a kill really consistently, and it's like that decision just shouldn't be made. But Moky just keeps making the decisions, and eventually it just creates a spot where Hungrybox is afraid to read it, and it gives him all this extra mileage in spots where like most Foxes would not be able to get. I would say this set definitely pokes some holes in like the way I see this matchup. Not that it invalidates how I see it, but it's just not how I would think to play it at all. I think this game Moky does a really good job of so it's really interesting to me is that most of these stages, like Stadium, whatever, Moky does these low percent combos that are really clean. He gets Puff to like 50, 60, and then he just sets up for the kill, like right away. It's a very, very straightforward, like build percent into kill, and the combo a lot of times is set up to be like, combo ends, set up the kill. The kill is right there, right away. But on this stage, the kill is not right there. You combo Puff to 50, you do not have a kill on her. And so it's interesting to me that Moky spends this game doing a lot more stuff where he'll just sort of back air, hit Puff off stage, and then just hold her off stage with the back airs as long as possible. I think, let me see, this game, yeah, Moky has 2 really high percent kills this game, and then 2 fairly low percent kills. But it looks like, this is one of his lower percent ones. But I like this a lot to get a little bit of extra damage. Because you would think, like, okay, you're here, you can't get a kill, you know. It's a bit of an annoying spot to be in. But it feels like Moky just recognizes that he needs a little bit of extra percent, uses the edge guard to get just an extra back air or a nair or 2, and then it gets him to the percent where he can now get the kill. And so I thought that was a cool part of his plan on this stage. And so you'll see this a lot throughout this whole set, is Moky goes high, does something psychotic, which should definitely just lose against Puff. Like, it's like the definition of what Puff wants from the Fox, is what Moky will do. But he'll just he makes up the timing or the spacing, or H-Box just slightly gets it wrong, and then he'll make it work. And suddenly that really bad decision, like, look at this is crazy. It's like coming in above Puff, jumping in, coming in above Puff, double jump, coming down on Puff. And Hungrybox eventually finds a grab here and makes it work. but it feels almost like it's like he's somewhat disoriented, where Moki's like giving him so many opportunities to win, but then every time he tries to take one of these opportunities to win, it doesn't quite work out, and then Moki's going for his next thing, which is also another HBox opportunity to win. And I think it might happen in game 5. It kind of puts him in like a mentality where he's just like, come on, just give me the thing. And like, it just feels like it's like when you play somebody and you get stuck shield grabbing over and over because it feels like they're just doing bad aerials on shield, but then they're just barely are pressuring just right. They can get the shine out before the grab or something, where it feels like there's so many opportunities that you don't know which one to choose, and it can be very disorienting. And that's what it feels like it kind of does to HBox here. HBox misses the rest opportunity, which is big. Moky does a lot of back air walling on this stage, but like short hop in double jump drill, like this is just objectively bad, but he makes it work. He makes it work over and over somehow. I think it's some combination of knowing Hungrybox's habits and just being cracked. But okay, I think this was probably the best up air of the set. Moky does this nair, and Hungrybox just moves around it with this really clean up air, and then gets the tech chase. I think if he looked like he was really ready for this tech in place, this to me feels like a dash jump rest. Like, I think CPU 0 would have hit the rest here. You're not gonna die from the rest punish. I think this is a pretty good time to do the rest here if you're reading tech in place. But HBox gets the grab, and then he cleans up the edge guard, which ends up great for him. I think in this game, HBox only gets one rest kill. A lot of his kills this game are setting up edge guards. And it's just, I feel like we all know that this won't work, but Moki's like, I can make it work. I will make it work. It does not work, but it feels like he's so willing to constantly try to make it happen that it feels like HBox can't exactly get a perfect handle on like what's going on. It's like, you know, someone's going to do something crazy and a little dumb, but you don't know what they're gonna do. And it's like, oh, okay, well then the info that it's gonna be crazy and maybe like a little, like an overcommitment, dumb's the wrong word, it's just like a little bit like irrational to do that when you can just die out of it and then be down 3-1. But it, like I said before, it feels like Moky just introduces so much of this chaos that Hungrybox doesn't feel comfortable hard reading any of it enough to actually trap him. It starts getting a little egregious during this game. Moky just drops on him with like so many back airs in a row. Very, very close up air here. It's kind of a shocking up air that it missed. Ooh, look at that. Sometimes this is melee. This is like one extra jump frame. And sometimes this is just deciding everything. Like, it's just crazy to me. Like, it feels like maybe, you know, if Moky hits this, I don't know, Moky ends up winning the set, but stuff like this is just a big game changer. This could have been like the reason Hungrybox won the set or something like that in another world. And so, okay, I think this is really good by Moky. He misses his kill. It's very tempting in this spot, and I think a lot of Foxes, when this happens, like you go for the kill and you just barely miss right here, there's a tendency to try to keep like the kill going. A lot of Foxes here, like this happens, and they're doing something like dash away, run in jab up smash, run in up smash, something like that. A lot of Foxes will get back thrown here. They'll run in with an up smash, get back thrown, get edge guarded, something like that. And so it's really important to not try to immediately get the kill. And so I really like that Moky shifts sort of instantly. I think going for the up tilt there was good shield pressure and stuff like that. But he shifts very quickly to just like, okay, I'm just going to like back air you until you die. And I think that is the right strategy, especially on this stage. This was not a great recovery by Hungrybox. I don't think there was a... I think he probably could have made it back if he didn't go for this silly rollout. But I'm glad that Moky just covers it. It was not a good recovery. Yeah, I think it might be this stock where Moky just kind of like beats on him, and HBox the entire stock is just going for up airs, like over and over. And this is sort of like the perfect stock to represent this set. Is like Moky's at 20, Hungrybox comes back, he's looking for the up air reads. Like Moky's just kind of running around. Okay, gets a hit. Moky's jumping in, attacking, jumping in. Isn't it crazy how often he's repeating this? Like, this is not something you would tell someone to do. Like, you would never tell someone, do full hop shine, double jump down air against Jigglypuff. Works great. You'll be able to win a super major and beat Hungrybox. But he manages to do it. I love watching this, where it's just like, look at how many up air attempts the Hungrybox actually goes for this stock. This stock is so interesting. Hungrybox goes for up air. That's 1. Up air. That's 2. Gets hit. Up air. 3. 4. Misses again. Okay, gets hit. Moky's been building percent diligently this whole time. 5. 6. 7. 8. If any one of these up airs hits, if a single solitary up air touches Moky at all, this stock goes to HBox. Like, this is crazy. He just keeps dropping on him. Like, he just is like, oh, I'll drop... Like this. This in particular. This is the death sentence against any Puff, not even HBox. So it's crazy that Moky just goes for it. Look at this. This is death. It's insane that he makes it work somehow. And, like, from Hungrybox's end, there's no reason to not go for these up airs. I actually think this is somewhat what separates, like, the best players is, like, he knows that this up air is golden. He knows this is the perfect up air. And so even though it keeps not working out and he keeps getting hit for it, the situation hasn't changed. It's still the world's most perfect up air at 32, and he knows, like, okay, all this damage, it doesn't matter. Like, as the Puff, you recognize, like, if somebody is going above you and falling on you, and you're going for these up airs and they're missing, you know as the Puff, like, okay, the Fox is clearly doing these options. They haven't gotten punished for it. There's no reason... Maybe if they thought about it, they would stop doing it. But it's like, in the moment, you're so in the zone that, like, this play keeps working. You keep getting away with it. You're going to kind of keep doing it. So from the Puff end, Hungrybox is just sitting there like, okay, just don't get killed. Keep going for these up airs. Eventually, one of these up airs is going to hit, and you'll win the stock. And, like, you can just tell this entire time, he's like, just one. Just one. And Moky just continues, like... This is the back air that, like, I tell everybody not to do this, the runoff back air right here, because Jigglypuff can just dash dance grab it. But he does it, gets away with it, drops again with the up air right here. Like, normally this type of wall, doing the instant double jump like this, not good. Like, look at this. This is just Hungrybox winning the game. If he hits that up air. And Moky just keeps being like, alright, first of all, I'll go above you, right into the spot where you want me to get, and then I'll drop using the exact aerial that you want me to do, but I'll hit you instead of you hitting me. And Hungrybox is like, okay. Eventually, my good move will win. So it just feels like Moky keeps doing bad options really well, and Hungrybox keeps doing the good option and missing, partially because he's just missing reads, or maybe slightly missing the spacing, and partially because Moky's mixing up his timing really well, and constantly, like, you never know when he's going to stop doing this jump around, throw out kind of unsafe aerials thing versus, like, perfectly beyond you with some sort of up smash or up tilt or something like that. And so it's just, like, a constant, like, tension as from Hungrybox's end of, like, what's really going on? But every single one of these back airs, look at him, he's like, okay, All right. Well, this next up air will surely be the one. Like it'll for sure count, and then I'll be ahead. And so this is how you don't break on the puff in. You're just like, no, no, no. They're not killing me. I just need the one perfect up air. So he's waiting, goes for another up air. Goes for another up air. Boom, he hits the up air finally. Like after like 12. He finally gets this up air. Moky finally gets punished for playing above puff. And suddenly all that crazy stuff that Moky was doing actually kind of gets invalidated by this one spot. And it's just, this is just like the perfect stock showing how this style against Puff is not that good. Eventually, like, you're gonna fall on Puff and she's gonna hit you with it. But it's just raw skill. He's definitely not winning this on, like, playing the matchup right. He's winning this on pure skill and using his strengths. Like, his strengths are he can react with a double jump back air better than Hungrybox can react with a full hop up air, apparently. But the negative is that the thing he's doing is way higher value for Hungrybox. So very interesting stock there where it's just up air, up air, up air, up air. I think a lot of people could learn from that stock about like how this matchup ends up at top level, where it's like just how it ends up so scary where you do all this stuff and you build all this damage, but the Puff is just waiting for the one perfect rest. And that's why I think I prefer the style. More so like what Cody does, where he's kind of waiting really patiently for his kills rather than like constantly trying to like drop and like build damage and do stuff like that. Because I feel like playing the way Moky's playing, it creates a role dynamic where the Fox is like, okay, I'm going to throw stuff out, I'm going to win most of the situations, and I'm going to build damage. And the Puff is like, okay, you're going to win most of the situations, but I'm going to win the most important situation. And I think that the perfect Fox play in this matchup is you can kind of win both, where you're like, I'm going to hit you sometimes, but most of the time I'm going to do this very orderly thing, and I'm going to kind of puff you back. Like, I'm going to hit you a couple times, and then camp really hard for my up throw up air at the perfect percent. And I think that that definitely is higher value, but maybe not for Moky in particular. This might just be the way he's got to play it, but it's hard to watch. It's nerve-wracking to watch if you're rooting for Moky, because it feels like at every moment of the game he is within restable range. Like, it's just like this just could have been the end of the game, and it's just Moky raw grabbing at 0. Like, this is not a rational decision you would make if you were not Moky. You would be running around, I'll get my lasers, I'll dash under the full hop, I'll get like up tilt back air, okay, a couple more lasers, work Puff up to like 70, and then you get like an up throw up air or something like that. And he's just like, okay, Puff at 0, well, I think you're here, and so I'm gonna grab him. And this honestly should have been the end of the game. And this is what I'm talking about, where it's like, this style is so volatile, it's crazy. Because like, this should just be the end, 100%. I think Hungrybox probably should have back thrown here, but it's a tough call. They're both so good. Like, he probably should have been able to kill off this up air anyway. But Moky does a good job getting out. Crazy, he almost dies from a grab at 0. Now he's at 35. The first decision he makes, now that he is... By the way, it's like Puff up air knocks down, I think it's like over 20, something around there. And so, like, 23, yeah, up air is going to knock down. If you're at 35, and this is what I was talking about the last stock, Fox in, like, mid-30s, perfect percent. It's the perfect percent for Puff, where, like, up air just knocks them right in the range where you can set up anything. You can get a rest, you can get an edge guard. Up air just becomes the best move ever, and up throw is still really, really good at this percent. And so Hungrybox is going for his grabs. Hungrybox is staying really focused on his high-value openings. I talk about a lot how Puff is sort of like an ammo character, where you have a few chances. You're moving around. You're like, okay, I got like 3 or 4 chances. And you're sort of hoping that like every time you go for a big read, you don't take that much damage. and you want it to take as many chances, you want it to take as many, like, tries, sorry, you want it to be that, like, when you take risks, you're going for really high value openings, and they're getting fairly low value openings on you. So you're like, okay, I'm camping, pull the trigger, go for some crazy high value thing. Oops, I messed up. I just took a back air. And you get several chances to do that before the stock ends. And that's what Hungrybox did the last stock. That's how he came out on top on the last stock. So he's just very focused right now. Gonna get my grab, gonna get my up air. He's not thinking I'm gonna run around and hit a bunch of back airs and fairs. He's focused on the killer opening. And Moky is just jumping in with a full hop nair, which... this should just be over. In a lot of other worlds, this is over. But Moky gets the read, and he just starts going in. Really, really crazy impressive to see someone able to beat Hungrybox doing stuff like this. Like, I could never. This is nuts. Like, getting almost killed, like, right here. You get the roll away, and you're like, okay, now I'll just attack. I'll attack 3 times. Short hop, drill in, run, grab. Like, that's crazy. The grab makes sense. I think the grab was actually really good as, like, a reaction. But most people are not thinking that there. Moky's just crazy. I like that he didn't actually jump in here. Because I felt like this one Hungrybox was way too ready for. Goes for the up air. He's just kind of moving. Like, this could have been death, too. I just feel like the reason why Fox beats Puff is because, first of all, the early kills. Second of all, she just has a really hard time forcing interactions with him. Like, he's so fast, and he moves so fast both vertically, horizontally. She has a really tough time actually making sure the interaction will happen. And Moky's just kind of like, I don't need to play a winning matchup. We will play an even matchup, and I will win. And that's just kind of like, whoa. Like, it's crazy to embrace the roles. Like, rather than saying, like, okay, you're looking for your targeted kills, I'm looking for my targeted kills. You say, okay, you do your thing. You look for your targeted kills. I'm gonna hit you. Like, I'm just gonna back air. I'm gonna nair. That was a good bait by Moky. This was really good. This was crazy. This could have been it. Like, this could have been Hungrybox winning the set. My Moky, and he had the up air too. Hungrybox was not hitting this SDI. You can tell just by the way he went on the forward air. This up air was for sure hitting and killing. So it's crazy that missed input almost cost him. It almost cost him the game. And so this is Moky being really patient. He's really patient when Hungrybox is unhittable. Then the second Hungrybox becomes hittable, this is... oh, gotta give me a heart attack watching these sets. Like, this is just so bad. Like, I'm not trying to, like, this is like a crazy decision. I guess bad, maybe just, I don't know. I feel bad calling it bad because he won. But this is a crazy decision. Like, he sees him use these, and he's going for, like, this crazy gimp, which is... I understand the reasoning on this shine, because Hungrybox had used up how many jumps? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he had used up 3 jumps. It wasn't like he was out of jumps. And I think this is just like a crazy overcommitment. Like, jumping out all the way, going for this. I feel like Hungrybox cleans up these back airs in his sleep, but Moky has just put him in this, like, I'm always kind of vulnerable for up air, like... maybe, and as he just doesn't hit, Hungrybox reads early. Moky does no fast fall. Hungrybox doesn't hold down here, which would have also won him the situation. And then Moky just, like, reacts. And so it's, like, crazy that this entire set, it feels like Moky is just like, well, I'll do a bad decision. Hungrybox is like, okay, I'll punish you for it. Moky's like, you missed. My bad decision benefited me, and I've now, like, confirmed perfectly, and you're dead. And he just does that a lot, and he does it very accurately, and it's just it's a really funny way to play, and I think there's nobody on this planet that could actually make it work except for Moky. Like, any Fox who's watching this, if you play against Hungrybox like this, you will probably lose. And I honestly think that if Hungrybox was playing a little bit cleaner, that this probably would have been Hungrybox favorite. Like, I've seen Moky play cleaner against Hungrybox than this. This is definitely... It's just crazy because Moky's clearly not playing like a 10 out of 10 here. And Hungrybox isn't either. But as the Fox, a lot of times it feels like, okay, when I'm not playing well, I will back off. And Moky's like, well, I'm not playing fantastic, but I'll just keep going. Full hop drill, no, full hop shine, double jump out of shine, drill. And you'll miss the up air because you're thinking, what is this guy doing? And so it's a weird set. A lot of times toppable melee does go like this. I think you'll have to get used to it as I do more set analysis, is that there are a lot of high-level melee sets that would probably be better to be swept under the rug. This isn't one of them, but there are a lot of them where you just watch and you're kind of like, huh, well, they both sort of played like they shouldn't be making it very far. Not this one in particular, but I'm saying like this one is moving that direction, and there are a lot of top player sets where it feels like neither person is like playing the game super well, but a lot of times it comes down to who's hitting the last second confirm, who's hitting the reflexes. So it still ends up as like a hype set, but sometimes the gameplay is just a little bit silly. Okay, and this is, I think honestly, this is Moky's one of his strongest aspects against Puff. I think he's really good at getting the low percent combos. Most Foxes here would just get this up throw, and they would either hit an up air or hit a back air. Like, they jump this way, hit a back air, or jump in and hit an up air, and that's it. And Moky is so good at being like, oh, I just got this one extra hit. He gets one extra hit, and then he looks for the advantage position immediately. Boom. And then he's looking for it. But look at this. When Hungrybox is hitting Moky, like it's like Moky is making himself vulnerable to up airs. When Hungrybox hits the up air, he wins the game. When he doesn't hit the up air, he could still win the game. But Moky he makes it work, because look at this. He's just been doing so many of these full hop double jumps, and it's like eventually that shouldn't work. Hungrybox does a great job getting the up air here, and he cleans up this spot really well with the tech chase rest. And it's like, okay, you would think, like, watching this, like, if you just watched this clip, you would definitely be like, okay, this is like a pretty, like, the Fox is doing pretty good stuff, but they're playing in a way where Hungrybox will eventually get the really important rest and kill them. That would be like my review when looking at this. I wouldn't think that this was a set where the Fox won, but somehow. Like, I will short hop out right here, and then instead of retreating the platform, double jump drill. Double jump drill, huh? And then right here, like, it's just funny because it makes Hungrybox look like a caveman. It just makes him look like up air, up air, up air. But everything Moky is doing would make you think as a Puff that you should up air. Honestly, I think he does a really good job mixing up slow falls. I think that gets him out of a lot of these, is that most people react to this position of being above Puff with the feeling that they need to get down quickly. And so it seems like Hungrybox very often reads the fast fall here, and Moky gets away with the slow fall. That seems to be his main mix in this spot. This is another big moment. Hungrybox, let's see, what's this, what are the stats on this game? So this is game 4. Okay, let me see. Hungrybox kills out of 3 out of 4 grabs. So this is the only grab this game where Hungrybox does not kill him. The games where Hungrybox has a really high conversion rate, like let's see, Hungrybox wins 2 games. The first game he wins, he has 3 grabs for 3 kills, and every kill is a rest. And then game 4, where we're on right now, he has 4 grabs, 3 of which lead to kills, and he has 4 rest kills. The other games are like, he loses game 2 with 1 rest kill and 2 out of 6 grab kills. And then he loses game 3 with one rest kill. Oh, I already said one rest kill and 3 out of 6. And then we'll get to game 5 in a second. But it's like getting those like he's getting. It's just crazy to lose these 2 games. Or sorry, to lose game 3 with 6 grabs, and then this game he wins with 4 grabs, but the grabs count a lot more. And getting the rest kills is so important on Dreamland in particular. Really hard to get kills otherwise. This is such an, like, I just feel like this is one of those sets where, like, a Fox player would watch, and they're like, alright, I'm gonna learn how to beat Hungrybox, like Moky does. And then they'll see this situation, and they'll be like, huh, I guess just play? Like, he drills again. He's a crazy person. Like, he's crazy. I just think that's such a funny spot of, like, trying to jump in with the full hop here. Like, right here. I guess he didn't drill, but just jumping in here in general is crazy. And then he just catches the roll with the up smash. And, you know, this was a really good example of, like, corner pressure. Like, I don't think that he needed to jump into all those up airs to make this roll situation happen, but he's using the Moky magic. It's all Moky magic. This is a funny one. Hungrybox comes back invincible, light shielding on platform. And I don't know what happens here. I don't want to believe that this is a shield poke. I do not understand this interaction. Feels like it can't possibly be a shield poke, right? Like, it feels like Moky must have shield dropped into this. Like, he had to have. Or jumped or something. But it's like, what? Like, I don't see any sort of, like, Fox entering drop through here or anything. I have no idea how this hit. This light shield should be perfectly effective in this spot. I don't get it at all. Do not understand. The only thing I can think of is Moky's holding forward here on the shield. And then he takes this DI. It must have been a shield drop. It's the only thing that I can even conceive of there. But it looks crazy. It looks like he's just light shielding and Hungrybox hits him straight out of it. There's 0 frames of Moky doing any action but light shield. So maybe somebody else will know exactly why that happened. But I was like, whoa. What does that mean? How? I like this little extra credit that Moky does. I still think his rest punishes definitely could use a little bit of work. There's no reason not to take like a laser or 2 here. Like, drop laser, grab, or up air here after the lasers. And then he does this crazy, like, tech chase. It seems like he does a different rest punish every single time. And there might be some value in that for, like, mixing up Puff's DI. But it almost feels like he's just like, well, it doesn't really matter. I'll just kind of hit Puff with something. And maybe this up air is something that he, you know, he thought through as 0 or something. But very interesting rest punishes he kind of does. What I was going to mention is this extra credit here is really sick. I would say most other Foxes do not get this, where they will hit Puff with the up air here, and then immediately get the falling lasers, but then duck down before Puff can get to them. I think that was like a really good little... It didn't work out even perfectly here. If HBox DI'd away more, this would have been like boom, 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 gotten a bunch of %. So I think that was kind of a cool decision. Oh, again, man. Again. This is normally just the big rule, is you should never... First of all, you should never be going for, like, shines here. There's no reason to. You're getting almost nothing out of it. And then doing the double jump, but not retreating. Just going in out of it. It's just... It's crazy. It's crazy. Ugh. Like, it's just... I cannot understate how many possible up air opportunities Hungrybox had this set and just barely missed somehow. Like, how did that not hit? If Hungrybox hits this up air, he wins the stock and it's 3-1. But somehow Destiny just decided that it can't be 3-1. Remember what I mentioned earlier? This whole set is 2-2. There's never a 3-1 this entire set. I love the corner pressure that Moky does, except for the crazy jump-ins. Like, he uses his dash dance so well to keep Puff, like, right over there. He's clearly dashing, using the lasers. Look at that corner pressure. Hungrybox does not want to come over at all. And this is what I would consider normal Fox Puff. Instead of, like, jumping in on Puff all over here, like all this craziness, I consider this normal, where you're like, okay, pressure, get the lasers, pressure. He's sort of like, come on, come closer on this end, like I'm ready to hit you away, and you're going to use all your jumps. And so he's sort of creating like a spot here with his dash dance, where he's like, come on, Hungrybox, come right up here. Like, I'm waiting for you to come right here. Just show up right here. And Hungrybox doesn't want to do it, and it ends up putting him in a spot where Moky gets this really good grab, like overshoot in the corner. Like, he just covered the entire corner with that. I think this was like a great play by Moky. Boom. And Hungrybox misses every... Wait, how many SDIs does Hungrybox get this game? Okay, Moky only gets one up throw up air this whole game. And Hungrybox does not SDI it. I think Hungrybox SDIs like one... He SDIs one up air game 1. He SDIs 0 out of 3 game 2. 0 out of 1 game 4. 0 out of 1... Oh, sorry, game 3. 0 out of 1 game 4. And 0 out of 1 game 5. He hits one SDI and up air this entire set. The entire set, which is crazy to think about. I think part of that is Moky doing a really good job mixing up his timing, and part of that is Hungrybox might be slipping a little bit on these SDIs. You should definitely have a higher rate than like 1 out of 10. Definitely. Once again, like, I think Moky's just... Why is he dropping on him with Shine there? Yeah, it just feels like sometimes Moky plays this matchup very... Like, okay, they're in the corner, I do my thing, or I hit him a couple times, hit him off stage, get the back airs, get the percent, and sometimes I don't really know what he's thinking. I don't really understand why this position told him short hop nair approach against Puff here is a good idea. And, you know, there's a lot of pressure. Everybody makes mistakes under pressure, so I get it. But this doesn't seem like an entirely uncharacteristic nair based on all the other stuff that's happened this game. So I can't really explain it. I don't know what situation he was trying to really make happen here, but it ended up very badly. And it ended up basically like ruining this nice like two stocks to 2 thing he had. And when Jigglypuff is at 0, you really don't want to get rested at this percent. Like, if you can get Puff to like 40, then maybe you come back from the rest punish, hit her twice, and she's at kill percent. But like at this percent, definitely just a mistake. Way too big of a risk to take with that. And I think that just kind of happens the whole set. Moky takes big risk that makes no sense, somehow makes up for it. Somehow. And this happens a lot in this matchup, and honestly in every matchup, but I think that characters like Puff tend to make it happen more, where you go down a stock, you're up 2-1 in the set, they just got like an early kill on you, like they get kind of this momentum from the early kill, where they get the early kill, and like you have this sense that like I really need to make it happen now. And so you're thinking that they're going to just hold their victory or hold their lead, but they don't. Instead, they just start going like a bunch of like trades and like reads and stuff, and Moky kind of gets caught up in that and ends up. Hungrybox does a really good nair here. This is like a crazy good nair grab. Like, I think it's really good that he's keeping Moky in the corner, and he just drops right here, makes it super ambiguous which side to hit on, actually gets behind Moky here, and then gets the grab. Really good nair grab right there. So now we end up at game 5. And so it's like, okay, 4 games have passed so far. And what's been happening? It's like, there was the big rest game 1, where Hungrybox just rested him a ton. Game 2, Moky got his, like, rest. He got early up throw up airs the whole time. And then they've just kind of been fighting back and forth through Moky's chaos. Like, Moky is clearly the one introducing the chaos, and Hungrybox is doing his absolute best to prevent it. It's really interesting, because like I was saying before, a lot of times it ends up with Fox trying to play the algorithm, and Puff is trying to find her way in past this, and instead it feels like the opposite, where it's just like, well, we'll just game. I do think, like I mentioned earlier, that like playing this style helps you stay loose as long as you don't get tilted. I'd say it's a really easy style to get tilted on. Like if Hungrybox starts, like if this game starts and Hungrybox got 2 rests, it doesn't feel like Moky would be really ready to like make the big comeback where he camps all the way for the comeback. It feels more like he needs to kind of just keep it going, and he's just sort of flowing and playing, and just kind of going. It's just kind of crazy to watch. Hungrybox, great in air to start this off. I think Hungrybox has been moving really well this entire set in general. Crazy to not get this kill. This was probably it for the game 5. And like I was saying, every game this entire set was super volatile and like could have really just exploded one way or the other. And so Hungrybox getting this set up, getting the DI mix up, and then not hitting the rest here was colossal. It was huge. Because Moky comes back, immediately gets up air laser, get the little extra credit on the laser. And, you know, very close. Hungrybox could have gotten that. Very, like, notice how it's very scrambly. It's not, there's not a lot of camping going on here. It's very much Moky, like, alright, I'm going to put myself in your face, and we're going to fight it out. And you're Jigglypuff, so you probably can't keep up with me, because I'm Fox. I thought, oh, this stock is so funny. He burns Hungrybox. Hungrybox goes here, gets, wall jumped on, gets Daraki'd on. Almost called it Araki wall jump. Wrong name. And this is so funny to me that he's able to actually get this. Like, all the jumps from Puff because of the special wall jump, and then gets that one. And that is, this, compared to Hungrybox at 2% with Moky dead, was a crazy flub by Hungrybox. Definitely a large blunder that cost him this game, it feels like. I'm pretty sure he cleans up this edge guard, yeah. Once again, no matter what happens, they will end up 2-2. And playing 2 stock games of Melee and Fox Puff is chaotic enough as it is. So it's like they're basically playing 2 stock games with Moky doing crazy stuff. And it's just like, can HBox get the rest in time before Moky randomly hits him enough? Not quite random, but from the Hungrybox end, you're like, well, what is he really hitting me with? Like, most of the time, this was so crazy, actually. Like, he turned what normally you would think would not be a big opening here, which is the back air, at what percent? 30%. Like, this is crazy. Like, if you see this percent, you're not thinking, oh, Fox has a kill here. But because Hungrybox is holding down, gets knocked down, Moky RTCs him, gets the down throw for percent, and then gets the kill. This is definitely one of the, this is probably like the play of the set, probably. Crazy like ability to take this stock right here. That was really, really good by Moky. Actually crazy. Totally flips the momentum too. Like, not that the momentum was necessarily against him, but it just creates like, whoa. Like, if you're Hungrybox and you die to this, it does not feel like the Fox is choking and going to give you an easy game 5. Got to really lock in for this one. And now Moky can... I was about to say, and now Moky can start running away with lasers because he has the stock lead. Moky shoots 1 laser, immediately short hop nairs directly in on the shield and gets grabbed. Like, and Hungrybox. Classic Hungrybox maneuver. Really good right here. I still feel like there's something he could have done out of this up throw up air, or sorry, out of this up throw that was better than what he did. But better than what he did in terms of like a pure combo. But yeah, basically Moky has this big lead, but he just immediately tosses it away. Hungrybox gets this into the rest. So good. It's because, like, after this back air, you're just really afraid of her corner pressure. Specifically, as Fox, you're really afraid of either short hop back air or full hop up air beating all your options here, and then mixing it up with, like, a wave dash and grab. Technically here, the best option is to go to ledge and ledge dash off, but not easy to do in a situation like this, but it is the only thing you can do that's actually fully safe from everything Puff does. And so it's like, it's optimal, but most of us don't have the... Most of us aren't able to do that. Like, final moment, game 5 against Acebox, he corners you, you go to ledge. Like, it feels counterintuitive, but it is the best option there. So he gets the rest read. Perfect reset to 2-2. It's just crazy that every single game this set was exactly 2-2. 2-2 at, like, low percent every time, too. Not a huge deficit, no matter how the game starts. And this is like, just clean Fox Puff. Gets the grab. I think Moky's really good at grabbing missed aerials and stuff like that, too. He does that a few times this set. But I think like this. Boom. Gets the extra credit with a couple lasers. Stuff like this you don't think is that big of a deal, but it is. It adds up. Like, the difference between 52 and 58 could be, you know, that could be it, everything. And so I think, like, getting those couple extra lasers, stuff like that, always really worth it. And this was just like an entirely super solid opening by Moky. Gets the back air, gets that back air, walls, uses up Hungrybox's jumps, and then reads him going to ledge. This was like a great stock. He definitely rocked in that stock. That was really good. See, this is what I think Hungrybox probably should have done that other stock where he got the back air into the roll. Like, I feel like he could have hit the up air on it and just had the guaranteed kill. But Nair grab at 0, Nair Sakurai angles at 0, so it's actually really, really strong. So, like, look at him. He gets, boom, he gets Sakurai angled really hard, and so he's actually still in stun when Hungrybox gets the grab. And this is so good. Really important. Like, imagine, like, how different this game is here if Hungrybox, like, if this is one of the ones, like, Hungrybox does not get a kill here. Like, Moky does this DI, and Hungrybox does back air, and then looks for the roll again, but Moky doesn't do it. This is, like, unwinnable for Hungrybox. Really, really important to hit the... I mean, it goes without saying that hitting the up throw rest is really important, but, like, up throw into, like, rest combo. But it's kind of crazy when you actually analyze high-level matches, and it's like, Jigglypuff gets 5 grabs a game, and every one of those, like, the percentage of those grabs leading to a kill is basically what decides things, like, a lot. Because it honestly feels like this game, Hungrybox only got 3 grabs. He killed out of 2 of them, which is why it's last stock. But, like, compare that to some of the other games, he was getting, like, 6 grabs. You get 6 grabs with Puff in a game against Fox, you should have won the game. Whew. Stuff like this matchup is terrifying. Like, he's right here, just barely misses this. I think Moky, one thing that serves him really well is he's been in this situation enough times that, like, when he misses this against Hungrybox game 5 last stock, it's like, well, okay, it happens sometimes. He just backs off, continues playing normally. Feels like this stock, he definitely is more down. Like, it's last stock game 5, and he's finally sort of starting to play, like, the normal game plan. And it's funny that at the end, the normal game plan does not work. He actually gets put in a bad spot, and then he just goes for this, which is bad. Like, he could have just lost the set right here. Even after all that fighting, all the back and forth, all the risk-taking, comes down to the final moment, and instead of holding down, Hungrybox jumps and gets hit by the weak back air and dies. Crazy, crazy set. The funny missed fist bump. I love the pop-off here by the guys in the audience, too. This is super funny. They're like, oh, let's go, Moky. And then Hungrybox misses. No analysis is complete without this. Okay, Moky's like, there's the fist. Hit the fist. The fists are gonna be meeting up soon. Here they go. Whoosh. He just like punches through the fist. Super funny. But yeah, so that was the set. It was crazy back and forth. It's like not even, not even just their sets are back and forth, like the set count, like of who won each set. Like the game count is just so back and forth. It's just literally like, I won this game because I got this early up throw up here, and I won this game because I got the early rest. And it's just kind of like a crazy battle to watch. I think like Moky could definitely play it better theoretically, but I think that like he's found a way that works for him. I'm really curious where he goes from here to try to make it more consistent. I think like when I look at it right now, I would say Hungrybox has an advantage here. It feels like if I was Hungrybox and I was watching back this VOD, I would feel like, okay, next time against Moky, I just have to extra lock in on the punishes. Don't overthink the neutral. Most of the set, he's not going to be playing crazy neutral. Just focus on hitting the up air rests when you get them. And focus on, like, also noting that Moky uses no fastfall a lot to mess him up. Like, Moky's just taking these crazy fastfall 50-50 mix-ups. And Hungrybox read fastfall every time Moky did no fastfall. If Hungrybox mixed in half the time, if half the time Moky fell on Hungrybox, he got up aired and Hungrybox got the kills out of it, this is a for sure Hungrybox win. So like just watching it and thinking about it feels like Hungrybox has an advantage where there are clear steps to be made from Hungrybox's end that turn this into a consistent win situation, at least based on this set in particular. Whereas from Moky's end, feels like you can sort of keep playing this high volatile strategy and like kind of banking on the fact that Hungrybox won't get perfect confirms and that you will outplay him and be confusing enough to throw him off. But it doesn't have a super clear road forward style-wise. Like it definitely feels like Moky, the only way he can really do better in this matchup is to change the way he's playing it to a more orderly style. And it's possible that when he plays this more orderly style that he's just worse at it and will lose to Hungrybox more. So I'd be a little worried from Moky's end that it's kind of hard to set up a consistent way to beat Hungrybox based on this. And I would feel pretty decent from Hungrybox's end that there's a way to for sure beat Moky. Only based on this set. I haven't analyzed too many other previous sets. That's just like my impression based on this. But Moky clutched it out this time. Nail-biter set. Managed to win the whole tournament. It's good stuff to him. So that concludes the analysis. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll be taking some questions from chat and then figuring out what I want to do after that.